are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth. There is study after study after study.
You're repeating it like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. You don't want to come back here and debate this.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, RFK Jr. has absolutely humiliated fake news CNN's Dana Trash over lie after lie after lie that has been totally debunked, even by Fauci himself in his own diary. Not to mention trying to step into his realm over these studies regarding Tylenol and autism, just all sorts of stuff. This lunatic is trying to push mainstream narratives that we know are false, that we know are led by pharmaceutical companies, by a bunch of woke Democrats, a bunch of woke biased scientists. RFK Jr. has the studies and the receipts to go ahead and smack her down. Let's go ahead and react to it. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
If we had listened to those doctors during the COVID pandemic, we would have saved potentially millions of lives. There were therapeutics out there that were working. There were doctors that were having no deaths from COVID and treating, in some cases, thousands of patients. And we weren't listening to them. Instead, we were doing the opposite. We were shutting them down. And then, Dana, the other thing that I would say is that we need to protect our constitutional rights. That is the primary obligation of our country. What does that mean? Well, during COVID, we completely dismantled our constitutional rights.
Dana Bash literally is saying she doesn't know what it means to protect your constitutional rights and wants to consider herself a respected CNN journalist who doesn't understand that, hey, shutting down free speech, shutting down people's ability to leave their homes in a lot of cases, removing people from their jobs, right? Removing social media posts, coming after people for social media posts was wrong.
We began censoring people in violation of the First Amendment.
But you're saying what not to do. I'm asking what to do. But I want to talk about.
That's something to do. That is the number one priority. We protect the Constitution. The Constitution was written.
Forgive me, but you're talking about rights, and I'm asking about a potential public health crisis that is coming. But I do want to
And one of the mistakes we made in the last time was suppressing those rights so people weren't being heard. The doctors who were saying you're doing it wrong were being marginalized and vilified.
Yeah,
and
because again, I really want to move on, but.
Yeah,
you were saying you were. Yes, I do.
You were part of the problem.
No, I wasn't part of the problem.
There was absolute press malpractice. You weren't allowing
Mr. Secretary,
your job is a fierce skepticism toward authority, and you weren't doing that. You were beating up on people who were dissenting.
No. Okay. Are you want to sit here and attack me, or do you want to have conversations about public health?
Yes. I want to sit here and watch RFK Jr. beat the hell out of you with his words for as long as possible, because yes, you deserve to be attacked. Now look at the way this lady's like trying to have a debate with this guy. She sees challenging authority is challenging him. She doesn't see it as challenging Fauci, challenging CDC narratives, challenging sleepy Joe Biden once he became president. She doesn't see that. She doesn't see attacking people that she personally agrees with, that CNN, a bunch of woke anchors and losers behind the scenes agree with. She sees it as attacking conservatives and Republican viewpoints, which, by the way, this previously was never a conservative point of view. This was a liberal point of view, to not trust pharmaceutical companies and government narratives and things like that, and to protect constitutional rights. But I guess the Democrats just stopped caring about that at some point.
I'm not attacking you. I'm asking questions about how to prevent the next pandemic.
Question, and I'll tell you.
That's what I'm trying to do. But I also don't want to use this interview to allow you to say things that aren't entirely true. You're talking about therapeutics, fine. It is also factually true that the COVID vaccine worked. The COVID vaccine prevented deaths. There is data upon data upon data.
So he just said that there was proof that therapeutics worked, but scientists were shut down. No one was shut down for pushing the vaccine. So what the hell is the problem? The problem is when you told people that they couldn't do both or pick either or, they had to go this route that you said that they had to go. They didn't want to do it. They didn't trust you anymore. And Dana Bash doesn't seem to have learned anything at all from the past. It's truly remarkable.
Let's talk about the measles, please, because this is something that is happening as we speak. The cases in the U.S.
vaccine protected children?
I think that what I have talked to scientists and doctors
You've talked
about.
to scientists. Can you show me one study?
Yes, I can.
That shows that
I can.
Children were protected by the COVID vaccine.
I can tell you that
That
there are.
vaccine did more good than harm to children. Can you show me one study that shows that?
I can tell you that when it comes to the vaccine, there have been studies that show that because of vaccine disinformation, there could have been 100 to 200,000 lives in the U.S. saved. But because people didn't get the vaccine, that's why. I'm not saying that it entirely.
You are saying nonsense. You are saying something that you cannot show me.
Okay.
A single study.
I am not
says
saying
that.
nonsense.
You
I
are
am
talking what
Excuse
somebody
me.
told you.
Excuse me.
And you
Let me
cite me the study.
What
study?
No, what
Cite
studies
me
are
the
you
study.
talking about? You're talking about
Wait a
studies that
minute.
actually
You just said that you actually I do, and start pulling out papers, and you were just BSing. He said, "Hey, can you show me?" Actually, I can. Now you're saying, "Well, why don't you show me a study?" You didn't. You just lied. And then wonder, well, due to vaccine hesitancy, why would people not hesitate when they're listening to people like you? Insanity.
exist. I want to talk about.
Cite me the
I am
study
not-
that you're talking about. If
I am
you
not
say
here
you've
to
seen
defend-
studies, cite me the study.
This is not productive. I am not here to defend all of the. Let me
You're
finish.
talking nonsense.
Let
You're
me
making
finish.
assertions you can't support, and then when I call you on them, you're telling me that I'm arguing.
Okay,
with
do you want to talk about assertions that you can't support? I'll get there in a second. Let me just say, for the record, that I am not saying that the entire way that the COVID reaction was accurate. It was a scary time, and people made mistakes. Absolutely.
You
Let
were
me finish.
scaring people
Why are you saying that?
because that was the job of CNN.
Okay.
Was to put the
stop.
chyrons up about
Okay,
how
stop.
many people are
We
dying.
were trying to
get people
we were
to
listening
comply.
to the leaders in this country,
Hello,
including the president.
Wait a minute, Dana. Don't be trying to turn up now. I'm trying to yell at RFK Jr. Even with his voice issues, I can assure you he can yell a lot louder than you. So I'm not sure you want to go there.
Daily press conference.
How many people are
We
dying?
were trying to
get people
we were
to
listening
comply.
to the leaders in this country, including the president, who had a daily press conference explaining what was going on and trying to listen.
Were you listening?
I want to
the
talk to
scientists,
measles.
Actually, were you reading
The
science?
measles. Are you willing to say to parents who have not vaccinated their kids that they should vaccinate their kids for measles because it is safe and it will help them save their children's lives?
We tell people on my websites, my public
Right now,
pronouncement, I'll
look
say
into the
it right
camera.
now that parents should get their children vaccinated for measles. A measles vaccine.
Dana literally wants. She's trying to say this is not a propaganda network, but basically wants RFK Jr. to come on here and spew propaganda. Even if you can argue the MMR vaccine obviously is safe compared to the COVID vaccine, there's no reason why you should tell somebody to come on camera and tell people to get the vaccine unless you're trying to push an agenda, which is not the objective of the news. The news is tell people like, hey, here are the facts. Here's what RFK Jr. had to say. Not try to compel him to say something when you feel like he should say something. Totally ridiculous.
Why not, because you are HHS secretary now, why not study what could cause autism?
But Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist. But
Well,
genes
you're not
don't
either.
cause Genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand. Genes,
They can provide a
epidemics.
vulnerability,
A
but you
gene
need
provides
environmental exposure.
That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental
We're looking
exposure?
at all the different environmental exposures, but your statement, you have been fooled. Your statement that this has been studied is not true. It's categorically
It is
not
considered.
true. Not for any of this stuff.
It is considered.
Considered by who?
By every scientist who has studied this.
That is not true. I can give you hundreds of scientists who have looked at this.
So
and
on the
say,
one
why
hand,
isn't
do you understand why
the
people aren't
National
getting?
Academy of Sciences. What greater authority
Do you
have than
understand
that?
why people are not getting measles vaccines? Because they're hearing you say that it could
You're
cause
trying to
autism.
change the subject.
I'm not. It's very much
Yeah, you are.
related.
Show me one of the studies that's been done on the first 8 the vaccines during the first 6 months of life. You will not find them. The National Academy of Sciences
So if that's the
do not
case, then why are
exist.
you telling people to get the measles vaccine?
Because that is one of the vaccines that has been studied.
Okay.
It's the only one that has been studied.
Do you want people to get the MMR vaccine?
Yeah, I said that already.
Okay, so
I know you're flustered now, and it is.
I'm not frustrated at all.
Because
I am
people
frustrated.
have not been honest.
The reason I'm frustrated is because you are the HHS. You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes.
Dana, RFK Jr. Vaccine hesitancy, like this guy wasn't even HHS secretary until 2 years ago. That was back in 2024. Vaccine hesitancy started really way before the pandemic, but it certainly started around 2020 when Operation Warp Speed was even mentioned. People started being skeptical. This was before Trump was even out of office. The first time, before the vaccine was even produced for COVID.
That lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country. And it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it is
like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot. I've actually read the science. Let's come back here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this with you.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not debating.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what?
Cook.
That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I allowed to talk?
Yeah, her job is to be a propaganda. That's my job. Yeah, to spew propaganda. Let's keep going.
Trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to tell the truth to the American public.
Yes, and my job is to get as much information as I can. And what we were doing,
skepticism.
What we were doing in COVID and still, with regard to these vaccines, is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing information to be out there that is not accurate.
Who was lying to
you? The National Academy of Sciences, which you just cited.
Guys, this was just embarrassing. This woman's like, oh, we're talking to the scientists. And meanwhile, literally your number one scientist has been caught red-handed spewing misinformation intentionally to try to get people to basically do what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted. I have pretty much no confidence that people like CNN's Dana Trash are ever going to clean up their act. The only way that you could really clean this up is to freaking get rid of these woke anchors. There's no other way. These people will continue to spew propaganda, misinformation. Basically, if RFK Jr. disagrees with one or two things that some other scientists say, well, RFK Jr. is pretty much going to be labeled as some sort of crackpot, which makes absolutely no sense. We know that the fake news is responsible for pushing lies and propaganda, and it's about time they pay for it. But these are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm out. Big shout out to my members, Cybernoodle 655, Bella Scott, Carpentier John, Pinecone 6, and Arcano. Always appreciate you.
So God bless you. Congratulations, you guys. You're amazing. Congratulations. You guys are amazing, okay? Know it.